どうも皆様、こんばんにちは、ヒロでございます。下手でも関係ない楽しむだけだをモットーに、シャーロック・ホームズ・チャプター1、続きをやっていきたいと思います。はい。前回の続きでございまして、事件の捜査をしているというところで、このサントスが、警察に通報して、名前を忘れちゃったな。そうそう、ファビオだ。ファビオの遺体を発見して、それで、通報したと。で、警察がやってきたよっていうことが知れて、この人を呼び出して、事情聴取をしたというところですね。で、他の人たちの話を聞いて、結構情報が集まったんだけど、まだちょっと足りないよねっていう状態。で、外にも出れるから、事件現場に向かった方がいいんじゃねえかっていう可能性があるんだけども、こちら見てください。マンチョスで全ての証拠を収集したってなってるんですよね。なので、ここに戻ったとしても、情報ねえんじゃねえか説があってですね。ちょっとどうしようかなっていうところが今あると。何を調べたらいいんだろうかっていうのが今あんま。
Continue our investigation while I look for the papers. Continue our investigation while I look for the papers.
Don't look at them. They'll serve us if necessary.
そうなんだよな。事件関係者に話を聞くっていう形なんだけどさ。
This area is restricted.
この状況で誰と話すればいいんだろう。
I know I can handle the news.
I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party. The air here is rather refreshing. I'd even recommend that some of my friends visit the place. The air here is rather refreshing. I'd even recommend that some of my friends visit the place.
Please let me out.
困ったなぁ。話をしてもなんだよな。何かあるわけではねえし。ここで調べられることってもうないんじゃないかな。なさそうだよね。ってことはやっぱ事件現場に行くべきなのかな。倉庫室。
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
証拠室ってどこだ？アーカイブ。証拠室。
Good day. Your ticket, please, if you want me to
こ
help
っ
you.
ちか。
Don't you understand what a ticket is?
あれ あ、
I'd
こっ
like
ち
to
か。
check the evidence from this case.
And who are you?
Oswald sent me. I'm a consulting detective.
His partner, then? Let me see. Ah, a ritual murder. What a bunch of degenerates.
お
Wait a
願
second.
いしま
Bring it to
す。
the table.
はーい。うわ、めっちゃ来た。
All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring.
指輪。
It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone.
うん。
A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials KM in the corner.
KM。カートマンチョっすか。
That's not for bedtime reading.
うん。ブラッドマンドレイク。
This ex libris belongs to Manchios Library.
パート氏の本。血とマンドレイクか。警察による逮捕の最中、マティスタのカバンからオカルトの本が発見された。蔵書表によれば、この本はカート氏が所有する蔵書の一冊。本には事件現場に似た儀式の絵と文章による解説が記されている。近日中に他界した大切な人間を裸体にせよ。火星と金星の紋章を描くことで汝の力を増幅させ、男そして女の本質の力を使え。男の心臓を金色のダガーで貫き、汝を愛さない血を取り除け。汝の愛を示す紋章を描け。蘇生を待つ間、魅惑の呪文を暗唱せ
The
よ。
book describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar room. Her key to the altar room.
うん。
A handcrafted charm that contains hair and nail clippings.
お守り。こっちは
An emergency kit for boredom.
ボビオからの手紙。ボーゲルの証拠箱の中にあった手紙。気は確かなのか。あなたは自分の憎しみを制御できていない。少なくとも僕の周りではね。僕にはお見通しさ。僕は僕が決めた人と一緒に過ごし、会話をし、遊ぶんだ。僕はマティスタじゃない。金をもらってはいるが、あなたは僕の飼い主じゃない。もちろんあなたからの寛大な援助は返さないよ。いくら受け取ってもあなたの感情の爆発にさらされる足しにはならないけどね。僕とあなたの関係はもう終わりだ。マティスタはまだいるだろうけどね。フォビオより。
Not the time for privacy.
何フォビオに対して本の字だったの
Sketchbook. Thank you, officer.
ありがとう。ん警察による捜査。はあ、こっちじゃないな。フォビオからの手紙と、血とマンドレイク。フォビオとマティスタに話を聞かないといけないと。カートはフォビオを愛していた。カートは愛の力。どっちにしてもまず話聞くか。さてと、まずファビオか。毎回間違えちゃうわ。これはどういうことだい？
So, the police found a letter from Fabio in your pocket.
I cannot tell if it was truly in my pocket at all. Perhaps it was placed there later.
Well, that is
その
one
可
of
能
the
性もある。
hypotheses. If it were true, then how did it get there?
No clue. But this night has been rather eccentric. Such a detail could have easily eluded me.
Indeed. Do you recall reading it?
I can't remember that either. But I tend to respect privacy. Reading others' personal notes is not one of my perversities. The air here is rather refreshing.
はあ。彼はなぜファビオの手紙が自分のポケットに入っていたか分からず読んでもいないという。本当か？ああ、でもそっか。ボーゲルに入っている手紙だけど別にこれボーゲル宛てじゃねえのか。なるほどね。それは確かに分からんわ。この微妙な感じは困るな。
This is the letter the police found in Mr. Vogel's pocket. Fabio wrote it.
うん。何か知ってる？
Do you know anything about it?
I don't. Although I can feel Fabio's energy.
ファビオの力を手紙から
It's
感
there,
じる。
but it refuses to let me analyze it.
うん。手紙を読むことを拒絶している。はあ。これは？
This book, The Power of Love, Blood and Mandrake. What do you hope to achieve?
To learn more about the invisible strengths that govern us.
見えない力への理解を深めるための本。
I made him fall. I cast a spell on him and it worked.
Or was it a coincidence?
The universe is really so lazy.
If you say so.
うん。あなたはオカルトを信仰してい
Do
る。
you practice occult rituals?
For protection? For fortune? To wash away the ugliness of the world? Sometimes to survive. I have the gift, and I'm learning to use it better.
Did you use your gift on Fabio?
I only used white magic. Love charms lately. Fabio became so distant. I just wanted him to be with me, but I suppose I'm not as skilled as I thought.
うん。ほうほうほう。
Please let me out.
お前は何もないのか。じゃあお前か。
Do you recognize this book? Could Matista have borrowed it from your library?
She didn't ask me. How ungrateful.
The things described in the book were inspiration for the rituals you performed?
Do you really believe that blood, symbols, and incantations can resurrect the dead? They are just
オカルトや黒魔術に影響された気味の悪いおとぎ話。
rituals are a stage to show some of the forbidden pleasures.
見せ物。はあ、はあはあ、カートの反応から彼はマティスタに本を貸す許可を与えてないことがわかる。けどまあ借りちゃったよってことか。こいつは？
I've read this letter from Fabio. It had no addressee, but it was found in Mr. Vogel's pocket.
Werner? Strange. I didn't think the two of them corresponded.
I'm sure there is some explanation. Would you care to read it?
Call me superstitious, but I don't care to read a letter from a dead man.
ああ、死人からの手紙は読まんと。うん。カートはファビオを愛していた。はあ、愛の力。マティスタ・オカルトの方か。ボーゲルが逮捕されたのは手紙のせいだ。はあ、ボーゲルのポケットにあったこの手紙はカート・マンチョスに宛てたものかもしれない。サントスの話ではカートはファビオに高価な贈り物を送っているそうだ。手紙でファビオはある人物の性格が原因で贈り物を返さないと言っている。ファビオはこの怒りの手紙をカートに宛てて書いたようだ。カート、もう一回お前の話聞けて。
There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient of this letter.
What are you talking about? Is it addressed to me?
Your protege wanted a fresh start, it seems. This is sufficient to charge you.
Me? Hurt my star? Are you insane that you would accuse me of such a thing?
He did not consider himself as yours. Since you deny everything, let's move on. Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's pocket?
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. Werner was a little high.
ボーゲル、何も覚えてないってことはないんじゃねえのか？
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of the incriminating letter may have been Kurt Manchur.
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember how I came to possess it. Though I did spend quite some time with Mr. Manchios during the party.
役に立たね
With an answer, that may still not be enough to clear you with the police. But fear not, I will persevere.
I hope your attempt to put things straight will make up for
You being on a bender?
touche.
え。反省の色ね。
Please let me out.
うん。もう一回これ？
I've
あ
got
れ？
more to say.
あ、こっちか。
Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Manchur?
Oh, that could be. I never thought Mr. Manchios could make Fabio that angry.
うん。
What do you mean?
どういうこと？
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from Mr. Manchios. Clients who are in love are both a blessing and a curse.
But Fabio was here tonight.
Money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt Manchios.
Was Fabio afraid of Mr. Manchos?
Not at all. The old toad wouldn't dare to do more than sweet talk and touching. Talk can be forgotten, and touching washed away.
おう。複雑な関係だな。カートは自分と手紙のつながりを否定し、ボーゲルが、はあ。マティスタは手紙がカートであるものについて触れた。ファビオがカートと全ての縁を切りたがっていたが、経済的な理由から実行する、移すことができなかったと。そのためにボーゲルが、ってことなのかな。手紙を取った。カートが手紙を手にポケットに取る。出てきたーサントス。うん。マーティスさん。結局、ボーゲルじゃねえんだ。ボーゲル。これで分かったの、ボーゲル、ただの巻き込まれ事故じゃん。なるほどね。
Are you done yet? Can I leave?
なるほど。マティスタじゃない気はするんだよな。マティスタ多分、蘇生させようとしたんだろうなっていう気はする。 あ、嘘。いや、そんなパターンあるかな。だからカートとファビオが地上のもつれで、まあ、口論に至って、で、多分頭殴って気絶するじゃん。現場だったら。で、死んだと思ってカートはその場から逃げて、そこにマティスタがやってきて、あ、やべえ、死んでるって思って蘇生させないといけないってなって、このカルト本通りに貫いちゃって、まあそれが決定打になったとかっていうことなんかな。いやー、どうなんだろう。それか、どうなんだ。でももう俺気持ち的にはカートがもう犯人でいいんじゃねえかってなっちゃってんだよな。いや、誰だ多分、カートかマティスタのどっちかなんだよな。ただ、マティスタ、どうなんだろうか。まあ、一回、カートにすっか。
The murder of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios. It was staged by a man who wished to distract the investigation.
一回やってるな。
That poor girl Matista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her. So, Santos.
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problems.
Ungrateful little scum. Will he be executed?
But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body, I believe.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr. Vogel. He had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you plan. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated, didn't you?
You can't be serious.
血の間の、爪の間の血だ。
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic and filthy. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your fingernails. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchios.
Nonsense. I missed it simply because of the busy schedule of the party.
Of course, a staged murder was certainly not planned. You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner, you have no children. You had feelings, however, for one man. That was Fabio. You loved him. That is, you wished to own him with money and gifts. But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his back on you. Quite unjust. Love, so cruel and painful. And Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel the more wretched. So you killed him.
You must surely perceive that my sensitive nature wouldn't allow me to hurt anyone.
あれこの感じ違うのか
You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the party. It was your way of avoiding suspicion. A respectable man in his 60s,
Early 60s.
who hosts the cream of Cordona's society, cannot possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behave like animals in his mansion, of course, one of them could have killed Fabio.
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did not stage Fabio's death.
地上のもつれによる犯行だ。
Fabio played with your feelings. That was painful to realize. You spent so
あ、二
much
択あっ
time
たけ
and
ど、どっ
effort
ち
to
か
be with
あったの
Fabio.
かな
He didn't respond in the way that you would have liked. You wanted to be loved, but Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked you. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You were passionate, and so you struck him. Once you understood your mistake, it was too late. You were afraid, so you staged the ritual. With such a story, you might be sentenced to a few years. It might clean your conscience, and soon the case would be forgotten.
No. No.
This is my decision. I'll talk to Constable Oswald to see what I can do.
うん
I wish everything were different.
合ってない。どっちOK。一旦、ちょっと今回ここまでにして、次回この続きからやっていきたいんですけど、ちょっとね、なんかカートの話がなんか、あんまうまくいかなかった気がする。犯人他なのかな、ちょっと気になるんで、そこもちょっと、見っときたいなーっていう気はするので、次回はちょっとそこも含めてでやっていきたいと思います。ご視聴いただきまして、誠にありがとうございました。また次回の動画でお会いいたしましょう。またね。